Spec Ops The Line.
That's okay.
Lead designer Corey Davis. Corey, thank you for being here, my friend. Last time we saw Corey, his beard was much longer.
It was much longer.
I appreciate you cleaning up for us. All right, as we said when we were introducing the game, this is a squad-based shooter that takes its inspiration from Heart of Darkness. What?
Yeah.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, it means first and foremost we're focusing on a dark and mature narrative. So we're following a squad of Delta Force operators into a very surreal environment in Dubai that's been cut off from the world by cataclysmic sandstorms and filled with millions of tons of sand. So we sort of go down the rabbit hole with these characters and experience a lot of really morally gray scenarios with them, as they're not able to rely on sort of the command that helps out most of these military operations.
Right.
We really focus in on the emotions and the interactions that happen between these three characters.
I want to talk a little bit about the sand, because this is something that really got me excited about the game. The sand dynamics and the sand mechanics, and the fact that sometimes you're walking on top of what you think is a hill, but it's actually a building. How much time did you spend trying to make sand?
So that was the sand to us. It started as a character. It's sort of, if you compare it to Heart of Darkness, it's our river. We have a river of sand running down the center of Dubai. We really wanted it to come alive for the player, not just be a backdrop or a visual thing. And so we really focused on adding a lot of gameplay opportunities to be able to experience that. First and foremost, like you said, you never know what you're walking on. You may be walking on the top of a glass roof on a skyscraper that you could fall through at any moment. But at the same time, you can use that sand to your advantage. Kick it up into the eyes of enemies by throwing frag grenades into the sand. Also, these sandstorms continue to rage within Dubai. They're destroying the landscape, causing a very interesting situation with the civilians that have survived there, and really changes the way the combat plays out in Spec Ops The Line as well.
I hope we get to bury some people in sand.
I think you're going to get the chance to do that, definitely.
Is Tom Cruise going to sprint like a graceful gazelle through the city at any point in this game?
There are gazelles in the game. I'm not sure if we named them Tom Cruise or not.
No confirmation of contract there. But something we can confirm, and we're really excited that you're bringing it here today, we actually have an exclusive look at the co-op gameplay that you guys brought in, which we really appreciate. So what are people at home looking at when we talk about this co-op gameplay that we're going to show right here?
Yeah, so basically we've decided to release some free bonus content with the game, and we're really excited about it. We wanted you to experience the single-player game as a single-player campaign where you really evolve with these characters, but at the same time, in co-op, we get to see some different perspectives on the action that's happened in Dubai before Captain Martin Walker and his squad arrive in Dubai. And so, really, you get to play characters and see the reasons why they're doing the things that they're doing in the single-player campaign, and you get to enjoy that with a friend. And so that's a lot of fun. And also, really, all those different elements that are in single-player, as far as the beautiful environment of Dubai, the sand, the way that interacts with gameplay, all of those things are also in the co-op.
Let's talk about some of these moral decisions that you're going to have to make.
Sure. So in the single-player game, like I mentioned, we really see an evolution take place with our main characters. And we wanted to use this interactive element, the fact that you're the one, as a gamer, holding the control in your hands to allow you to experience some of the emotions that we've been told about by our military advisors and by stories that we read about from soldiers on the battlefield. Typically, these scenarios are not between good and bad. They're between this gray area that's been presented in front of you and your own survival. And so a lot of times soldiers have to make decisions that they have to live with for the rest of their lives, and those decisions' outcomes are not immediately clear when they make those decisions. And so we wanted the player to be able to experience that along with our squad and to sort of take some ownership of that evolution that takes place with these characters.
That's very awesome. So switching gears from single player to the multiplayer,
sure.
Because emotion is such a big part of the core mechanic of your game, it seems, are we going to see that same type of emotional decision making in the multiplayer, or am I just killing dudes to level up as much as possible?
Which is also awesome.
Which is also awesome, by the way.
Well, it's a little bit different type of experience. We didn't want to treat these moral decisions lightly. So we really wanted you to have a personal experience with those rather than, teabagging your buddy while he's trying to make a decision between something that's actually very horrifying. So we wanted you to be able to focus on the emotional aspects of that. So in multiplayer, you are seeing characters that are involved with these decisions, different perspectives on that. You're actually playing characters that were involved in a civil war with John Conrad's men, the Damn 33rd, before Walker arrived. You'll see those men actually strung up on lampposts in Dubai once you arrive, and Walker's sort of unraveling the mystery of what happened there. So if you dive into multiplayer, you'll see some more aspects of that and be able to enjoy that with your friends.
Now, is this kind of a present-day situation where we're going to kind of see modern weapons and present-day weapons that we recognize? Yeah,
you're going to see a lot of modern-day weapons, but at the same time, we try to take everything to sort of a hyper-realistic perspective. And so, basically, the squad arrives with their Delta Force weaponry that they've prepared and customized, but at the same time, they're cut off once they land there. They have to find a way to evolve with the situation that's there. They end up meeting survivors and refugees that have armed themselves with very sort of rugged and makeshift weaponry. And then once they sort of encounter new characters that gives them new opportunities, they have to move along and evolve with that as well. So you're going to see a lot of the weapons you'd expect to see in a military shooter, but also some really cool stuff like the usage of white phosphorus in the game. You'd be able to use a AA-12, which is a machine shotgun that allows you to really destroy cover and feel the brutality of this weaponry. So we wanted to give you perspective of what it would be like to have modern weaponry in the scenario of Dubai after it's been cut off from civilization.
That sounds awesome. And of course, the coolest weapon of all, killing dudes with sand.
I know.
You cannot forget about that.
Yeah, it's actually... Really, the sandstorms, to me, are a very interesting sort of character in the game as well, because a lot of times they give you an opportunity to play differently, tactically, but enemies also start to really behave differently as well. They're looking for the muzzles of your weaponry when you fire, and they're sort of pinpointing your location based on that. So they're searching behavior, they're really trying to outflank you and surround you. So in those moments, it becomes a lot different type of experience. You really got to rely on close combat tactics and weaponry in those situations.
All right, when can we get our hands on the game?
So Spec Ops: The Line comes out June 26th for the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, and the PC, but our demo's out now on the Xbox 360 and PSN.
All right, guys, so as soon as you're finished watching our coverage
Yeah, of course,
today,
after this.
after, you can go right now and download the demo. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
by. We
you.
appreciate it.